What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Welcome to Texas Podcast. Thank you for all the new subscribers, all the day ones, all the likes, all the comments, all the feedback. It's greatly appreciated. This is going to be a reaction video to the unseen footage. I'm going to let the unseen footage play for a few minutes because I think by me cutting it up and not letting it play, y'all are not getting the whole full story. So by me doing this, hopefully it makes a bigger picture because I think a lot of y'all are just logging in and seeing certain clips. And those certain clips might seem like, oh man, it's old footage. But in reality, it's new footage that if you would just pay attention and listen and watch, it's gonna paint a different picture.
My first boy was JD. We were together for approximately 2 years before he went home on parole. During those 2 years, we developed great feelings for one another. You know, he was like my shadow. Everywhere you seen me, you seen him. You know, we were best friends. It wasn't the relationship wasn't based on sex. You know, me fucking him in his ass. It was more than that. You know what I'm saying? I cared deeply about him. I woke up. First thing I wanted to see was him. Before I went to bed at night, the last thing I wanted to see was him. I was in love with him.
The game is in the penitentiary a set of rules dealing with homosexual activity. You know, you got what you call boys and sissies. Uh, then you got your man. Uh, so, I was looked at to be turned out, you know, what they call fresh meat. I ended up going to down to a room to smoke a joint. We was on the chain gang, 16 dorm at that time. And we ended up doing some other things. And that's what brought me in. Once you start something in here, you don't change it. They don't too easily let you do that. Once you're one way, you're always that way.
Create in me a clean heart, oh God, and renew the right spirit in me.
Alabama spends the lowest amount of money feeding inmates than any other state in the Southeast. Mississippi, Florida, Tennessee. At 73 cents, you're not going to get a good, nutritious meal out of 73 cents. I don't care where you stay at. This is a world within a world. You got everything under the sun. You got homosexuality run rampant. You've got gambling, you've got gangs, you got everything. You know, Josephine. Guy 6'8".
JG, that's my righteous dog.
Damn, that bitch.
It's like he's like the older brother that I never had. I got unconditional love for him, not just because we both bloods, but because he's always been real to me. You know, we've had our ups and downs and differences and problems, but we love one seriously.
We was real close, you know what I'm saying? We used to share boys and mainly he looked up to me, you know what I'm saying? To me, I was like his role model, the person he wanted to be like, you know what I'm saying? Everything that I done, he wanted to do, like my little brother.
Have money. And you know, there's no way to make money. This is how the game works. I ain't got no means of money. I got a box full of candy back there. Cookies, zuzus, and wham whams is what they call it. I'm gonna loan it to another inmate. I'll let you get a pack of cookies for 2 packs back next week. If a man borrows too much stuff, it gets too far in debt. Either you fight for it and let him know I'm not gonna pay you, so me and you just gonna have to whoop each other's ass, and we're gonna go to lockup, and we're gonna go back here and fuck, just ever how you want to do it. That's the way it works. He might have borrowed 10 suits and ended up fucking out his ass the rest of his life while he's here on account of 10 suits. Got him that way because 10 suits, if you can't pay it this week, it's gonna cost you 20 suits next week, and the week after that it's gonna be 40 suits. So sooner or later the man's gonna step to you and tell you, hey, I'm tired of your shit.
Well, I basically met Lamar Moore in 1996 or 97, one at Staten. And we were business partners.
And come back to prison. And when he got to the camp, he owed out like $300-400 worth of shit. When he first got there, from before when he was in prison.
Mark had a boy, David Mendenhall.
I met Mark on a chain gang. Uh, I would say it was in '98.
Mindy, he was my baby. He came to me. Mindy came to me and requested to be with me. You know what I'm saying? Which was rather strange because this was like the first guy that ever pulled up on me and said, "Hey man, can I be with you?" You know, so it was rather shocking.
Here at Limestone, you don't have the guys waiting at the back gate on you. And about the only way you can get turned out is you fall for the game.
I turned Adi out. Adi was fresh in prison. Um, had been chased by half of the camp. You know, he ran from them, and I don't know. He just basically he said he wanted someone to be real with him, someone to give him attention and affection, and he seen how I treated Mindy and my other boys, and he just wanted to get in, so we did.
They started, giving me things, and things I liked. Anything I wanted, I could get.
Well, I had never been through it before. I had never turned a boy out or had a boy or anything. And that wasn't my objective. I was just supposed to pull him away from the other people he was kicking it with and to kick it with us.
When my folks quit looking out for me, I felt betrayed. I was at my lowest self-esteem, so I had to find a way to pick me back up and make me happy. Make the best out of a bad situation. Mark and Mendenhall, they did that.
Where you from, man? Tomorrow. Yeah. All right. Okay.
David Mendenhall, he worked on radios. He'd fix my radio and everything. We got to talking, eating together, drinking together. We'd do a little drugs together.
I spent some time with him as far as kicking it. We might play cards together. All of us would. We'd get together and do it.
I run tattoos, run a store, and hustle. All right. So me and Mark started running the store again together, hustling, trying to make more money and more money and more money and more money. And before you know it, I ended up with two boys, and he ended up with two boys, and we called it a family.
Right. And that's the way we looked at it. We had a family.
I don't like this no more than you do, right?
For me, my boys get my boys.
But don't you know it? That's
We build from the beginning, you know what I'm saying, the bond of trust. I would let them go out and walk around by themselves, but I knew other guys wanted to be with them. And I know they would give them things, you know what I'm saying, for free because they was trying to pull them away from me. So it benefited me, you know what I'm saying, in that aspect because, I could let them go out and hang out or go and laugh in someone's face or, flirt a little bit, and come back with some food or come back with some cigarettes or come back with some coffee. And so it usually starts with one of my boys. I see a boy that I like, and I tell him, "Hey, I like that person. You need to start spending some time with him. You need to start talking to him, or whatever." And they wind up building a relationship.
The motive of the game is to have, it's not all to have you sexually, not for real. Because they know, say in my case, I'm a young dude, I look good, everybody wants me in the camp. They know if they could get me and they could invest a little bit, the way the game goes, I owe them then. It happens all the time. They could pimp me out, and make, triple, make more money like that than what they've invested. That's how the game goes in here.
hey, let it ferment for a couple of days, and then let it sit up. I'm gonna be so close to some Jim Beam whiskey until I might make Jim Beam sue me.
Julep is more or less a prison world whiskey. They make it out of yeast, orange juices, and rice. It'll get you drunk, pretty much like free world alcohol. Like I said, we got to drinking that night, and both of us was pretty tipsy. We were just laying on the bed back there. He was at one end of the bed, and I was at the other end of the bed, and he just started rubbing on my leg. So automatically, by me being pretty well drunk, I had began to become erect, and I didn't have any complex about it. I already liked him. He's a good looking dude.
So we called him Youngin. He just trusted me, with his feelings and everything else, and whatever he thought about. He felt he could talk to me.
So for me to live clean and have what I like, I guess when I started hanging around Mendenhall, he was doing all that. They give me anything I wanted: free world clothes, boots, shoes, watches, things of such. And I knew that if I left that I wouldn't have all those things. After Mark had found out that I had slept with Mindy. He became anxious. He wanted to himself. But as far as me and him, I really didn't look at him like that right then because I wasn't spending much time with him. He was just basically the financial sister. I wasn't spending a whole lot of time with him. But as I did, I started to grow to like him also. And then when I was spending time with him, Mendenhall would be jealous. So it was causing turmoil in the family. That's what we were. We're a family.
This was the second time Mark being here, uh, and they shipped him again. But whenever they shipped him, then that's whenever pretty much responsibility landed on me to make sure they're all right and to make sure nobody messes with them. You know, you got to, if you have to, die for them.
The reason why I left him with him because I know he's a good person. I know he wouldn't mistreat him. And if I would come back to that certain institution, if I wanted them back or they wanted to be back with me, he wouldn't have a problem with it.
If I wasn't in the game, then I wouldn't drink and drug. There's not many times to where I just want to look at reality, what's around me, what's happening. I try to stay messed up so I don't have to see it. You know, that's how I cope with it every day.
I got out of lockup, and I was trying to deal with it out of my feelings for Mindy. I was trying to deal with it, but he had changed. He's caught up in himself too much, too self-centered. He always worried about him when he was gonna get high the next time. You know, I just couldn't deal with that. I don't like being around them type people. As far as the aspects of life goes, yeah, it was better. Uh, I could go to the barber and get a haircut anytime I wanted. It wouldn't have to take nothing with me, you know. And then as far as the lock in my box, I didn't really have to because I didn't have to worry about anybody breaking in it at all because they know that I was associated with Mark, so they wouldn't mess with that. Mark had a pretty good reputation around here.
Well, I've used many different techniques to get a boy. Um, Tricks, manipulation, boo game, um, hero type, Captain Save a Hole situations, all sorts of things. Um, and yes, I became very good at it.
I'll make sure he has something to eat every night. You know, I'll make sure he have something to smoke. I'll make sure he have some coffee. But I'm not never giving it to him directly. He's getting it from one of my boys. So when that person might feel like, no, it's not me or whatever, then I cut him off. I cut his supply off. You know what I'm saying? Now I give him time to think about it. You know what I'm saying? He was getting free dope. He was getting free whiskey. He was getting eating every night. He was smoking every night. And then he was getting free sex. Now he don't get none of that no more. And to be able to get that, then this is what he got to do.
Well, one of the first things they're going to throw up is the stuff they've given you. You know, you owe them for that. And then they kind of put the boo down with it, the boo game. And to where you owe them that plus interest, you know. They try to get you in a bind.
Telling you some gas, what you want to do?
Y'all got me leaking and everything.
I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you
Y'all
hit it.
bullshit,
Where did all the cup at?
Son, give me that thing. I'm just gonna buy your shit, and then I ain't gonna taste it.
Look here. You don't, hey, look here, you ain't gonna just be drinking my whiskey, right? That's all you getting now. What's up? That's gas, ain't it?
It's still sweet.
No, you ain't
Trying to sell us some bell water.
It's
Straight.
straight.
You an alcoholic, so it don't even matter.
Yeah, you just want to drink.
How come you always about the beat game, man?
Ain't no robbing here, bro.
How come you always about the beat game,
Every
man?
time I be trying to handle some business, man, you always show
about
up.
the beat game, though, man. You still owe me 5 bags,
I
partner.
don't owe you nothing.
You know what I'm saying? You still owe me 5 bags. I tell you what, you go ahead and get this and we break even.
There's a gallon right here. Give me
I
10.
grew up in a family of 9 brothers and 4 sisters, and my father, he left, when I was like 9 years old. BPS is on her stomach, stand for Black Peace Stone. She's holding a dope sack in her hand. My other girl over on this side. She's got a bike. She holding a shotgun. That's my hood. You know what I represent. Black Peace Stone Blood Nation.
Looking back over the years, guess I shed some tears. I time again, this time I'm gonna win. I'm sitting for two I'm lose. I tried to hold on, my faith is gone. It's just another sad song. I look back at the time, reach nothing to eat and have clothes on my back. So
I grew up in Pritchard with my grandmother and my mother. Lived there all my life. Slum area, ghetto.